Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the Rideshare Hub. My name's Dylan. Thank you so much for coming by. In today's video, we are discussing 30 tips for Lyft drivers. So if you're a new Lyft driver, it's gonna be super helpful for you just as you go out and learn how to make more money. That's what we're talking about today. So before we get started, if you are interested in being a Lyft driver, I will have a sign up link below where you can get a bonus or guarantee of up to $1,000. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so tip number one is that Lyft drivers actually now qualify for guaranteed pay. So you never have to worry about going out and not making a lot of money. There's an app called Solo, which I'll have a link below. And when you sign up, they're just gonna guarantee that you make a certain amount of money. And that is only currently available in select areas, so make sure to check out if it's available in yours. Okay, tip number two is that when you pull up to your passenger, you always wanna make sure that you ask your passenger what their name is. And never assume you have the correct passenger, because you could be pulling up to pick up Samantha and you might pull up and say, hey, are you Samantha? She's just gonna say, yeah, she's gonna wobble in your car. She's all drunk. Meanwhile, her name's actually Beatrice. So you wanna pull up and say, hey, what's your name? That way you make sure you have the correct passenger. Okay, tip number three is make sure that you use a sign up bonus. It's super important that you do that before you sign up, because if you sign up and you never did one, you just potentially lost out on thousands of dollars. So again, I will have a link below, but make sure that you are using one, and that works for both Uber or Lyft. Tip number four is set a goal on how much money you want to earn. Maybe your goal is you want to buy a Tesla by the end of the year. Look at this car, guys. It's blue. It's pretty, it's sleek. No, but in seriousness, set a goal for how much money you want to make per week and per day. That's gonna keep you motivated and disciplined, and it's called manifestation, okay? All you zodiac lovers out there, what's your sign, bro? Yeah, set a goal for the day of how much money you want to earn. For me, my magic secret zodiac number is $274 per day. Why? Because that translates to roughly $100,000 per year. And write it down and try to hit that goal. Maybe you want to make $200,000 a year, $500 a day. Okay. The next tip for drivers: use Lyft as a stepping stone for something bigger. Maybe you're going to school right now. Maybe you're going to nursing school, or maybe you're just doing this for a little bit while you get your dream job as a movie actor. I don't know. It's been done. There's so many movie actors that I know who have done DoorDash, done gig work. So many people are doing this now. It's the mainstream. So try to come up with a time frame of like, okay, I'm gonna drive Lyft for a year and then I'm gonna move on to something else, because I'm just gonna spoil it for you guys. Lyft is not a career. It's really like, it's not even really a side hustle either. Like, you can do it full time, but not forever, right? It's really good to, like for me, when I signed up, I needed to pay off credit card debt. So I signed up, worked as much as I could until I made $5,000, and then I kind of dwindled it down a little bit. So you can do that. Okay, tip number six, and I'm a little biased because I love Tesla, but look into getting a Tesla to do rideshare with. These cars are very affordable now. These cars are really easy to buy now, and this standard range model of the Tesla is no more than a Prius, or definitely cheaper than a Mercedes. So you could totally, get this, and if you have a charger at home, save tons of money, and you're gonna make more money with Lyft driving with the Tesla. You could pay off the car and keep it as a bonus. So look into that. Number seven, set a schedule. You really want to make sure that when you're driving for Lyft, you're not just doing random times. Study your market. Look at when are the busiest times. Maybe you live in a city. That means, that's a great perk, because on Saturday and Sunday all day long it's going to be busy. And yeah, just go out and drive and figure out what times work best for you. Tip number 8 is don't talk to every single passenger. When I first started driving, I thought that I needed to kind of keep the conversation going with everyone. I had a lot of forced, awkward conversations. After a couple months, once I got comfortable, I realized that you don't have to talk on every ride. And you realize that the less you talk, the more energy you have and the more rides you can actually do and make. And a lot of passengers appreciate that you're not forcing any conversation. Be comfortable with silence, and you'll find out that they'll tip you a lot more. You know, your passengers aren't like thinking, oh, why isn't my Uber driver talking to me more? They don't have that thought. They're sitting in the back, they're on their phone, they're fine. Or they're looking out the window, right? They're in a music video. Okay, tip number 9 is use a tablet in your car. There are apps that pay you as a driver just to put a tablet in your car, and you can make up to $100 extra per month just for putting a tablet in your car. There's one that's called Play Octopus, and yes, we are sponsored by them, so we do have a referral link below, and when you use it, you will get a free tablet and you can start making some really good extra money. Okay, tip number 10 is make sure that you have proper ride share insurance. Most insurance policies will not cover you if you're in an accident, so it could get really messy. There's a company called Buckle Up that will provide you with rideshare insurance, and that way they make sure that you're covered, and that replaces your old auto insurance. You know, you don't need to pay for Geico. Buckle Up's super affordable. They understand gig workers, you know, typically don't make as much money as the normal person, so I'm sure they will throw you a good deal. So I'll have a link below for that. Number 11 is don't drive around looking for rides. That's possibly the worst thing that you can do, because you're putting on more miles, unnecessary wear and tear on your car, using up gasoline, or in this case, electricity. Wow, I just realized I'm matching the car. Guys, how cool is that? Hit the thumbs up button, okay? I went all out and matched the car for the video. We're going blue, navy blue today. What you wanna do is simply, after you finish your ride, go and park and pull out a book, or, you know, watch the Rideshare Hub videos. And as soon as you get a ride request, take it. Make sure you're accepting those rides, but you don't want to drive around looking for rides, because you could potentially be actually driving away from a passenger. So just stay where you are and the rides will come. I promise you that. Unless you're in the middle of Timbuktu, Idaho, then yeah, you probably want to drive back into town. Number 12 is utilize both apps, multiple apps. You can definitely multi-app using both Uber and Lyft. And you can actually just put both stickers on. Once you're, just sign up for both apps. And once you get a ride from one, just quickly go offline on the other one. When you finish a ride, go back online on both, and you never know, you might realize that, you know, you're getting really good rides on one of the apps and you can stick to it there. And you'll make a lot more money because you'll be waiting less in between rides. Number 13, this is not financial advice, but consider investing into either Uber or Lyft, or whatever app you work for, if they have a public stock. I really like, personally, owning the company that I work for if I'm able to. Because you're obviously working for them. That means, you know, even if you don't really like the company that much, in some form you do believe in the company. You know, you are using them for money. So maybe you want to consider investing in them, and that way you can be a shareholder, which could be really, really cool. Okay, number 14 is bring a book, or have audiobooks that you're listening to for in-between rides, right? You don't really want to listen to an audiobook during a ride. It might kind of annoy your passenger, but in between rides, or when you're going to pick up somebody, have audiobooks. Or in between rides when you're waiting for a ride, bring a book. Do something productive, right? We only have one life. Why spend it scrolling on TikTok? Why spend your life scrolling on Instagram when you could be educating yourself? Maybe buy a real estate book or an acting book, something, you know, you're passionate about, and study in between your rides. You know, be that person who is successful. Be that person who goes the extra mile to achieve their dreams. Tip number 15, this sounds really simple, but follow the laws of the road. I know when I first started, it was really tempting to be like rushing around, trying to get to my rider really fast, or you know, trying to even get my passenger to the location really fast. Your passengers will get annoyed when you're driving too fast and not following the laws of the road. You want to make sure you're driving safely, driving smoothly. You're already driving so much. Why put the extra wear and tear on your car to save, what, 1 or 2 minutes in an hour? It's not going to make the difference at all, and you're going to get in less accidents, less traffic tickets, and your passengers will tip you a lot more for driving safely and smoothly. That's really what they want, is just a nice, simple, and safe ride. Number 16 is do not chase the surge. If there's a surge or a bonus in a certain area, and you know, you have to drive to that area for an extra $2 or $3, you essentially just used $2 or $3, you know, on wear and tear in your car just to get to that area, and by the time you get there, it might even be gone. So don't drive, you know, across town trying to get a surge. Just typically stay where you are, and on average, you'll probably, you know, have a better experience. Number 17, this is a hack for everybody. Okay, listen up. You want to drive during the mornings, or try at least to get a few rides in the early AM. I'm talking 5, 6 AM. Wake up, I know it's early, make your cup of coffee, drink it, even have your coffee while you drive. I know you're not supposed to drink or eat and drive, but you know, you can have a little coffee, it's fine. And you'll get long airport rides, you'll get people who have long commutes, and you'll start getting $40, $50 rides early in the morning, and by 8, 9 AM, you already made $100. And people are generally, you know, really easy to work with in the morning. Nobody wants to start their day off on the wrong foot, so you'll have a much more pleasant experience. All right, tip number 18 is you want to make sure that you keep the inside of your car clean, okay? When you're driving for Lyft, you want to make sure that your passengers, when they're sitting inside, they don't smell anything weird, they don't see anything weird. You want to make sure your car is very simple. You don't want to have snack bags everywhere, trash. The outside of your car doesn't really need to be that clean, to be honest. You don't need to be washing it that frequently. The inside of your car is what matters a whole lot more. That's where you're gonna see the bulk of your tips and ratings come from. The inside, not the outside. Tip number 19 is see if you can get a used car to drive for Lyft. Because when you have a used car, your car is already depreciated in value a lot. Obviously, it's a lot cheaper of a car. And you know, if you buy a $5,000 car for Lyft on a loan, you could pay that thing off pretty quickly, and then after that, you're basically just getting pure profit. Not really, because your car is still going down in value, but you don't have a car payment anymore. Versus if you're driving a $20,000 car, $30,000 car, and your car goes down in value, it's just a whole mess you don't want to get into, because you're going to be putting on a lot of miles. Okay, tip number 20 is track your miles for taxes. One of the best tax benefits you get as a Lyft driver is you get to write off miles that you put on your car for business expenses. So there's an app called Solo that will be tracking your miles automatically, so you don't even need to do anything, which is really cool. And they're basically going to estimate how much money you save in taxes. And the average driver with Solo saves, I believe, an extra $5,000 per year. So I'll have a link below. But yeah, the standard mileage rate changes every year, but at the time I'm filming this video, it's 62.5 cents per mile. So if you're driving, you know, 100,000 miles a year, that's $62,000. So make sure you're tracking your miles. If not, you're gonna probably owe way more money in taxes, and I would hate for that to happen to you. So make sure you sign up for Solo, so that's already automated, and they'll help you out. Number 21 is get proper rest. When you're driving rideshare, I know you're just sitting down all day, but it's tiring. You can get, I remember one time I drove for like 40, 50 hours in 1 week. I felt like a zombie afterwards. I needed to take a couple weeks off. Make sure when you're driving, you're not sleepy or tired, and you're getting proper rest, 8 hours a night, and you're eating healthy, staying hydrated. And yeah, you just don't want to be like tired and driving because it's dangerous. Tip number 22, you can use an app that pays you extra money to play music in your car. There's an app that basically they partner with record labels and stuff, and you as a driver can get paid extra money. So I'll have a link below to that one. There's one called Stereo, and then there's another one which I forget the name, but I'll leave the link below as well. Number 23 is do not take cash rides, because that ride isn't covered under Lyft's insurance. So if you get into an accident or something bad happens, you need to kick out the person, like that, none of that's being tracked. It's really dangerous, and insurance reasons it's not worth it at all, and you could get deactivated for it. Okay, number 24 is you can wrap your car with ads on the outside and make extra money. There's a company called Wrapify. They're just featured on the Rideshare Guy's channel. I've personally spoken with the team over at Wrapify, and they say a lot of rideshare drivers wrap their cars. I don't know how that qualifies with Lyft's, you know, in Lyft's terms of service, but look into it for your area. It's probably basis on that, but they say drivers can make $300 extra per month with Wrapify. Okay, tip number 25 is drive during peak times, drive during busy times, because you don't want to drive around when there's nobody in your area needing rides, or they just need a $5 trip to lunch. You want to make sure you're driving, you know, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. during the week, and then all day on Saturday and Sunday, and during the nights on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those are going to be peak hours for most markets. Number 26 is see if you can upgrade to XL or Select or Lyft Black or Lyft XL. That way you're going to be making more money per ride, and it might be so simple as going on Facebook and finding a car. You know, go in your area and type in what qualifies for Lyft XL. You could potentially buy a van that qualifies and be making twice as much money this whole time you didn't even know. Meanwhile, you're driving a Ford Fusion, you could just got in a Ford Explorer, a used one, that qualifies because it has 3 rows. Okay, number 27 is expect a learning curve at the beginning when you're driving for Lyft. Just expect that at the beginning, you know, if you're making $1,000 a week, you're driving like 80 hours a week, be like, you know what, yeah, I'm only making a little bit. I'm gonna increase to $1,500 a week. The more I learn the strategies and I make every single hour count. And you know, make sure you are signed up with Solo so you do get guaranteed when you do go out and drive. Okay, number 28 is share a location with somebody. If you aren't comfortable with sharing your location with a loved one for safety, just text your partner or your friend or family member, your mom, your dad, maybe your child, just if they're old, you know, check in with them and say, hey, Billy Bob, you know, I'm driving right now, I'm in, you know, X area. That way they know you're safe. And if you're not safe, they'll, you know, they know where you are. Okay, number 29 is lock your doors when you're picking up your rider. You never want to pull up and just let your rider in, because especially at drunk pickups, guys, your random stranger's gonna be hopping in your car. You want to make sure your doors are locked, roll down the window and say, hey, what is your name? Are you here for me? You want them to be like, yes, I'm Susie. And you can be like, okay, you're Susie, you're good to go, come on in. Number 30, and you don't want to be like, you know, halfway through a ride and realize you don't have the correct passenger. Come on. Okay, number 30 is create a savings account and start investing the difference. All right, guys, those are my 30 tips for new Lyft drivers. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been another episode of the Rideshare Hub. All right, bye, guys.